The Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone PlayStation 1 game. Somehow, it still lives on in my mind. There is something about this game, if you'll pardon the pun, that is truly magical. And I think I know what it is. I think it's Hogwarts. But not Hogwarts as described by J.K. Rowling, Hogwarts as it was rendered on the PS1. Hogwarts as was created by the now defunct UK studio Argonaut Games.
Welcome to Hogwarts School of Witchcraft and Wizardry. I am Albus Dumbledore, your headmaster.
Open world games as we know them now were seriously beginning to find their feet in 2001. Shenmue, Headhunter and of course Grand Theft Auto 3, which released just a month prior to the PS1 Potter in October 2001, shook up the formula. There was a push towards different kinds of environments. The worlds of sandbox games became more familiar, more believable and more recognisable from real life.
Well, if it isn't the famous Harry Potter. I'm Draco Malfoy, and you do well to show me respect.
Even in games set in universes that are purely fantastical, you can see a move in terms of level design and space away from very identifiable video game geometry to something more plausible and lived in. The dungeons in Ocarina of Time have these very convenient polygonal platforms for you to jump onto and seem like they couldn't serve any other purpose than as a video game level. Whereas the world of Breath of the Wild looks and feels like somewhere people might actually live and function. What's interesting about Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone is how it seemingly exists at the precise moment where one open world level design discipline was transitioning to another. The Hogwarts of this game is very video game-y, but at the same time feels inhabited and alive, somewhere closer to real.
Hello Harry, it's me, Hagrid. Good to see you. These are the Hogwarts Castle grounds and I'm the gamekeeper, of course.
From the very start of the game, you're free to walk around Hogwarts, and as you explore through the libraries, the dorms and the Great Hall, you'll come across almost every Slytherin, Hufflepuff and House Ghost that you might remember from the books. That in itself isn't exceptional. This was a franchise tie-in game. They were bound to drop in every single character they could to strengthen the appeal, but it's the way that they're used. You see Hogwarts students running back and forth along the corridors trying to get to class. The ghosts spring suddenly from the walls, float across the room, then vanish again in front of you. It's nothing compared to what you would get now, but at the time, details like these created a sense that there was something going on around you, that this was a world you inhabited but didn't entirely control. This feeling that things are happening beyond your field of view, regardless of your action as a player, is fundamental to making a game world feel alive. It's what we recognise as real. One other detail, even more minor. In the Philosopher's Stone, whenever you approach a door or the entrance to a hallway, a little heading appears telling you where it leads. Before you go inside and trigger a loading screen, you can see that. For example, this door goes to the Gryffindor common room or the potions lab. It's a small detail, but in terms of creating that sense that this is a real place and that you live here and you're a part of it, that you're immersed in it, that magic, it goes a long way. Particularly in the 1990s, video game levels were designed to be deliberately impassable. The world was meant to present a kind of geographical challenge that you had to work out and overcome. The Hogwarts of the Philosopher's Stone felt more like something or somewhere that you were supposed to just enjoy and indulge in, somewhere you could roam without fear of getting stuck. It's telling that when Argonaut Games closed down in 2004, many of its members went on to form Rocksteady. The same sense of a real lived-in place with negotiable geography that is implied to exist as something more than just a video game level permeates especially Batman Arkham Asylum's titular penitentiary, one of the most impressive game locations of all time for the way it fits together and feels believable. Likewise, if you scour the credits of the game's PC version, you'll find Jordan Thomas, the level designer who would go on to create the Shellbridge Cradle from Thief, Deadly Shadows, and Bioshock's legendary Fort Frolic, where you encounter the psychopathic artist and musician Sander Cohen. All of these levels achieve a subtle combination where you are encouraged to explore and treat the world like a sandbox, but where that exploration is couched in a sense of plausibility and cohesion, an implication that the world does not just exist for you, the player. At the time in 2001, but even more so when you look back at it and trace its influences and descendants, that is what makes Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone feel magical.